It's time for an off-season edition of AFL Facts. With the AFL Draft upcoming, there is no better topic to focus our facts on. The first overall pick in 2024 is still up in the air. Whoever it is, will be hoping that they can be part of an AFL premiership, something that for number one picks is a bit of a rarity. Last season, Cam Rayner, pick 1 in 2017, joined the exclusive group of the top picks that featured in a grand final win. He's now the 5th member of the group and the first one to win a flag since 2016. That season saw Tom Boyd, who was pick 1 in 2013, win the premiership with the Western Bulldogs. In 1998, Des Headland was drafted and played in the 2002 grand final for Brisbane, and the other two players in the group won multiple premierships for their clubs. In 1994, Drew Banfield joined West Coast, playing in the 94 grand final win over Geelong, and 12 years later helped the Eagles beat Sydney in the epic 2006 rematch. The last member of the group is the most successful. Luke Hodge, pick 1 in 2001, finished his career with 4 premierships and 5 grand final appearances. His first came in 2008 before captaining the Hawks to back-to-back-to-back successes from 2013 to 2015. In the entire history of the VFL and AFL, no program has had as many drafted players as the Sandringham Dragons. The Talent League team is made up of the best players from the region every year and competes inside Victoria in the under-18 competition. 185 players who have been drafted to the AFL played for the Dragons. Some of the current names you will know that come from the program include Andrew and Angus Brayshaw, Bailey Smith, Tim Taranto, Braden Maynard and Zach Marrett, to just name a few. It's also been the starting point for 16 AFL Premiership players, which include Melbourne's Max Gawn, Jack Gunston and Tom Hawkins. Right now, no other under-18 program has had more success in getting their players picked up than the Sandringham Dragons. A fellow under-18 Victorian program is home to the most premiership players. One of the most consistent AFL teams since 2007 has been Geelong, and it's no surprise that all time the Geelong Falcons have the most individual premiership players, sitting at 25. They are 4 ahead of second, which is the Northern Knights, and 5 ahead of third, which is tied at 20 between the Oakley Chargers and East Fremantle Sharks. A lot of the Falcons' premiership players have played at Geelong. Brian Myers, Jack Henry, Jed Buse, Tom Stewart, Gary Rowan, Gary Ablett Jr. and Patrick Dangerfield all played for both Geelong and the Geelong Falcons. Others who won a premiership at other clubs include Luke Dowhouse and Zane Cordy at the Bulldogs, Jordan Lewis and Luke Hodge at Hawthorn, Jonathan Brown and last season's premiership ruck Darcy Fort at Brisbane. There have been some huge names that were produced out of the Falcons. In sport, the cream often rises to the top when it matters most. We saw this last season in the grand final as the second overall pick in Will Ashcroft won the Norm Smith medal. His 30 disposals and a goal made him the youngest player in the AFL era to win the award and continue on a clear trend with it. Since 1999, when all of the winners of the Norm Smith medal have been drafted to the AFL or zone selected, 11 of the 27 winners have been selected inside the top 10 picks. Overall, it's 41% of all the best on ground winners in the grand final. A further 3 were also taken inside the first round of the draft. Ashcroft joins Christian Petrarca as second overall picks to win it, while Dustin Martin, a 3-time winner, Chris Judd 2005 winner, and Shannon Grant 1999 winner were third overall picks to take home the medal. Luke Hodge is the only number 1 pick to win the Norm Smith medal, and he did that twice in 2008 and 2014. Going back to players' original clubs, one college has produced some of the best goal kickers in the competition's history. On top for average goals per player drafted with a minimum of 10 is St Bernard's College. Overall, they have had 19 players drafted to the VFL or AFL for an average career goal return of 156.6 each. They are 6.6 ahead of second, which is St Michael's College in South Australia. The names out of St Bernard's are Hall of Fame level. Simon Madden, who kicked 575 goals, and his brother Justin, who kicked 190, are two of the best ruck forwards ever seen. Premiership Lion Joe Danaher also went to the college, and his sudden retirement saw him finish on 395 goals in his 204 games. Goal-kicking midfielder and Brownlow medalist Dane Swan kicked 211 goals, and is ahead of other on-ball guns like Jude Bolton, 196 goals, Mitch Wallace, 109 goals, and current Bulldogs star Tom Liberatore, who has kicked 85 goals. There is one player who combined to kick more goals than the Madden brothers, and that is Essendon legend Matthew Lloyd. 270 games for a return of 926 goals. It's an average of 3.4 goals per game. Lloyd himself won 3 Coleman medals, made 5 All-Australian teams, and is the main reason St Bernard's has the best goals per player average out of any school or college in the country. A nationally drafted player, rookie player, zone selection, and even a former pre-season player pickup have won the Brownlow medal. Not many talk about it, but only 2 father-son players have won the Brownlow, former West Coast and Richmond player Ben Cousins, and Geelong and Gold Coast Suns great Gary Ablett Jr. Now, the way the system worked in 1995 was far different to the way it is now. There were no match bids, and Cousins technically wasn't even drafted in the traditional sense. He simply had 3 options: to join Geelong, where his father Brian played, or stay in Western Australia and play for West Coast or Fremantle, where he was eligible as a father-son. He chose the West Coast Eagles, and in 2005 polled 20 votes, which was 1 ahead of his teammate Daniel Kerr, to take home the Brownlow medal. Ablett Jr. was picked up at selection 40 in 2001 and had an underwhelming junior career. He took a bit more time to have impact in the AFL, but when he did, he was the best player in the competition. He won 2 Brownlows, the first playing for Geelong in 2009, polling 30 votes, then 4 years later at the Suns, polling 28. And now just leaves an academy drafted player, such as Isaac Heaney, who was a Club Academy pickup, or Jamari Ugle-Hagan, who was a Next Generation Academy player, as the only category of draftees not to have won a Brownlow medal. The final fact in this video is to do with another major award in the Coleman medal. If you look at the recent history of the winners, they have mostly been taken within the first round of their drafts, or underage pickups like Jesse Hogan, Jeremy Cameron and Matthew Lloyd. The lowest selected player in a draft to win the medal is Tom Hawkins, who was picked 41 in 2006. Every other winner has been at least a top 40 pick, with 7 individual winners being inside the top 16 picks. As of right now, no rookie or delisted player has won the award, and the player who did the best last year was a small forward in Tyson Stengel, who kicked 42 majors during the home and away season.